Hey, remember the Virago? Well, we're back. Welcome to Hack a Week. This here is Lisa's motorcycle. She's had this since, I think, I don't know, 15 years or more. Anyway, she's maybe thinking of selling it, maybe not, but we gotta get it running again so we can take some rides on the Blue Ridge Parkway because we live right next to it. And it's been acting up again. The original video I did, there's a link in the description, was some work on the carburetor on this. It would start, this was characteristic of these buggers. Start up when they're cold, they need a lot of choke, they don't like to accelerate worth a damn till they get really, really warmed up. And even then there's a little bit of lag. You roll the throttle on, it's like, it's just got this horrible lag. So I got rid of that carburetor. I said I'm gonna just roll the dice, get one of the Chinese knockoffs from eBay back then. This was like maybe 8 years ago. I bought one and threw it on here. It was like 60 bucks, maybe even less. It worked for a while. It started right up, it ran great. It was perfect. Everything was wonderful. It revved like it had never revved before. It was awesome. Got some rides in on it. About 6 months later, went to start it. It started. It was back to the exact same scenario as the other carburetor. Just ran like hell, didn't want to accelerate. Parked it. Was like just about over it. And last year, I think in the fall, late summer, fall, I said, yeah, I'm going to throw another carburetor because now they're only 34 bucks. So I threw one on here. Worked great. Ran awesome. Took it for a ride up on the Blue Ridge, wound it out. It pulled good. It revved like it's supposed to. It had good full power all the way to its max red line, whatever the hell that is. Awesome. Great. Thought it was all done. Came out here a few weeks ago just to fire up the bikes and run them a little bit, and the son of a bitch is back to that same scenario. Just doesn't want to take a rev. I think I know what might be going on. We're going to do a little dive here, and I'm really hoping this is the fix for this, because it would be great for everybody that has one of these little bikes, because they're awesome. It's a good little bike. It's a great beginner bike. It's not a rocket. It's just like comfortable enough for beginners, and then you can ride it for a while. It's just a comfortable bike. It's just not like a super crazy fast one, you know, but lightweight, easy to maneuver. So for all the people that are having carburetor problems, really hope we've got this solved. So let's get to work. Oh, wait. Oh, so let's do a startup. I haven't started it for a while. It does crank. Full choke. Gotta have that. They like full choke. So full choke. Not cool. Let's fix it. Fuel tank off, which means seat off. A couple of 10mm bolts to do that. Pop that off. This over here. We got a 12mm there, I think. Yes, indeed. 12mm bolt and a washer. Sit down aside. And then over here on the other side, I've got to lift up and pull back a little, and then I've got to disconnect the fuel line. That's pretty easy. Get a little rag down here because I know I'm going to lose a little bit of gas out of the fuel line itself. But not much at all. So keep sliding back and then pick it up and take it off. I'll set it aside. I'll show you a modification I did. I put just a regular petcock on there. I got rid of that other fuel pump style that works off the pulse from the engine crankcase. Talk more about that piece of crap later. So these bikes have a CV carburetor. This guy. These were on British cars. They were on a lot of European cars. You know, back in like from the 40s on up. They use a diaphragm in the top, and it works off vacuum. So as you crank open the throttle, you're creating a negative pressure. Atmospheric pressure wants to push on this diaphragm from here, kind of a thing. So what's happening is a vacuum is created in here. There's a diaphragm and a spring. That diaphragm is connected to the needle that allows more fuel to come in or less fuel to come in. As this vacuum is created, it pulls up on the needle, enriches the mixture, and off you go, accelerating happily. Well, if that can't get pulled up by vacuum, it's not going to accelerate worth a damn. Right here, and I'll show you this closer in a bit, is the passageway for the vacuum that operates this. So as you crank open the throttle, basically what's happening is you're sucking air out of here, and it's going right into the intake. Makes a vacuum in the chamber, pulls up on the diaphragm, pulls up the needle, richer mixture. But if you've cracked open the throttle and that doesn't come up, now you just, bah, you have no air-fuel ratio that's proper. You've got too much air, no fuel. I think I know what's going on with what happens with these, why they're brand new, they work great, but when they sit on the bike for a little while, the rubber diaphragm, which is also the surround gasket all the way around, swells up a bit and blocks that little teeny passageway. So let's crack this cover off and see what's up. The throttle cable mounts to this as well. Alright, let's pop that off. Boing, there's the spring. And then right there is that tiny little orifice where the air is going to get sucked out so that this can rise up because it's creating a vacuum. But let's get a little closer. See that contour of rubber? Well, that sets in a little bit of a groove that's built into the cover here on this thing, and I'm wondering if maybe the rubber, by the time it's all put together, squishes up and blocks off that passageway. Because right there, that little V groove is the passageway. So I'm going to take a Dremel and see if I can hog this out just a little bit, get a little bit more room there for air to flow. It's worth a shot. Well, let's put it back together. Let's drop the spring in first. Make sure the diaphragm's seated in that groove. Put our modified cover back on. Don't forget the throttle cable. And the longer screws. There should be 2 longer screws. They go in to hold the cover and the throttle cable on. Okay. Let's get the tank on, the fuel line hooked up, and try giving it a start. Okay, fuel's on. Key is on. Choke. Seems a little better, maybe. These things are always cold-blooded anyway. They don't like to start up in the cold, and it takes them a few minutes to warm up. But I don't know, maybe wishful thinking, but I'm going to move it out of the garage, let it run a while, and see how it warms up. A little side note on that fuel pump that I removed and all of the spaghetti that goes with it.
In a nutshell, what this thing did was take the reversion pulse that's coming off the crankcase along with some vacuum, and there's a diaphragm in here that moves, and then when the engine's running, it flows fuel. Okay, so then you've got the petcock here that's on reserve and prime. So prime is basically going to let fuel come through regardless of anything. So basically you're bypassing that entire system. Then you go back to on and you only get fuel when it's pumping. There's supposed to be like a safety thing, I guess, so that, you know, it doesn't leak fuel or whatever when it's sitting there. Maybe it's a California mandate thing, I don't know. Some of the motorcycle techs from the 90s chime in, maybe, late 90s, whatever. It is removed and it's got just a good old school petcock and it works great. And when I say petcock, I'm not being pornographic. It's a fuel valve. It used to be known as a petcock. Go look it up.
It's been running about 4 or 5 minutes. Definitely onto something there. It explains why when it was brand new, the rubber's still fresh, it's not swollen up at all yet, not been around gas vapors. That's a factor too. It'll swell the rubber up, and if it's cheaper rubber, not toward like the nitrile stuff, whatever, natural rubber, gas will make it swell up. That could have been the case, is as it sat for a while, then it ran like shit. Initially it was okay. It's back to that again. Time will tell. So, you know, it's parked here until the weather gets a little bit warmer. I may take it out for a little ride right now just to see how it feels, but crack the throttle now, there's no lag. It revs. So fingers crossed, maybe we got this fixed. If you've got one of these, give it a shot. You pretty much saw everything you need to do. If you don't have a Dremel, it's a good excuse to go buy one. I don't know what else you could use in its place. That's a tough one because you got to get in there and actually machine out a little bit of the metal. You can't really do it with a file because you're going to harm the edge and lose a good seal, so be careful with whatever you do. Possibly a little drill, but don't drill a hole right through it, then you're going to ruin it. So be careful, give it a shot, hack it, whatever. Go on Amazon, buy another $34 one. They're throwaway carburetors. Well, I don't know what the price is now. That's another conversation that I don't want to have. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hey, all of you motorcycle folks, it's been a while. Maybe some more this summer. Anyway, until next time.